Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to Let's Talk COVID. This town hall is the university's platform for discussing policies and issues related to COVID-19, um, and to also answer any questions you have. My name is Alex Bako. I'm the Director of Risk Management for the university. I'm also a member of the university's Executive COVID-19 Committee. Um, with us today, we have several cabinet members and other senior administrators. So we're going to go through, I hope today, I want to share just a few notes and some pieces of information regarding where we are, and then we'll just open it up to questions, okay? First of all, I want to say that mask compliance is generally um, outstanding at the university. I just want to echo the sentiment of my colleagues and myself that people are wearing masks on campus. People are wearing masks indoors in the student center, in classrooms, and I just want to thank everyone here and everybody, our entire community, for wearing masks. And it hasn't really become an issue. And the only reason I say this is because if you read the news, you'll see that mask compliance is an issue in a lot of companies, in a lot of places, maybe even at other campuses. And so I just want to really thank everyone here and everybody in our community for taking it so seriously and making sure that we all do our best to just not just protect ourselves, but of course, when we wear the mask, we're protecting others as well. Um, Positive cases at UDC. For the fourth week in a row now, we have 0 positive cases of COVID-19 reported um, to us, and that's a month of 0 positive cases. That's um, probably, in part, I'd like to say, indicative of our decision to um, put the mandatory vaccine requirement in place. And again, I already spoke about mask compliance, and I think that we're doing a really good job of um, of keeping the spread down by keeping ourselves distant, and because of the vaccine requirement, we just don't have very much COVID-19 circulating on campus. Um, Again, this far since August 23rd, I believe that's when we started tracking cases for this semester. We've had 2 students and 1 staff member test positive for COVID-19, and that's a pretty low number. And so let's all strive to keep doing what we're doing, keep it that way, and move forward. We had a testing drive last week on the 12th and the 13th, and I just want to share the results of that testing. And first of all, let me explain. Um, this was testing that was done on campus. This was testing that involved individuals, students, and staff, faculty who are already vaccinated. All right, and so I think what we were trying to do is identify um, some numbers to ascertain what levels of asymptomatic COVID-19 may have been circulating in our campus population. We tested 100 students and 68 employees or staff members over those 2 days, and we had 0 positive cases. Um, to be honest, I expected maybe we would have a couple, and we'd have to decide, what that meant. But we had 0 positive cases, and so it was a very successful drive, and it gave us another level of comfort that what we're doing here on campus is the correct course of action. Uh, I believe that perhaps once the university breaks, people go back home to where they live, they circulate, they come back to campus. We might organize another voluntary testing drive early next semester, just to see again where we're at and maybe identify any potential new cases that might be circulating on campus. But between now and then, we're not anticipating any more testing drives. Again, that is with the vaccinated population, which is most of us on campus. People that are not vaccinated and have exemptions are getting tested on a weekly basis, and that's a whole separate endeavor. They were not included in the population of individuals who were tested last week. I want to mention flu shots. Um, if you haven't gotten a flu shot, maybe it might be time to start thinking about getting one. The flu is anticipated to circulate pretty widely in this region this year and this season, and we are getting into anticipating and forecasting for the colder months. And so I know that our health services has sponsored a flu shot drive this week. Unfortunately, I believe it ends. It was yesterday and today, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. You could walk in without an appointment and receive a flu vaccine shot. So if you haven't done it and you'd like to do it, go ahead and try to get over there between now and 3 p.m. If not, you can always call and make an appointment with health services at 274-5030 and make an appointment to get a flu vaccine. All right. I think that concludes the announcements and information I wanted to share with everyone today. Let's go ahead and see if we have any questions. Please feel free to ask anything about what's going on with the pandemic, with the district, how we're doing here at the university. If you have any specific questions, like I said, we have several members of cabinet here and others that can probably address whatever you have on your mind. Questions. Well, we're starting, we have one question. We're starting to think about next semester, of course, and how things might look differently, if at all, then. So one question that came through from Catherine Meals, what are we thinking of in terms of the proportion of online versus in-person classes this spring?
So, Mr. Baco, I'll say to Professor Mills that the deans have been given instruction to plan face-to-face courses at 50% within their units outside of our workforce development and our community college because we are in transition potentially in a move, and we do not want to plan courses that potentially could be disrupted. So as we did with the fall semester, we're looking at targets of 50% in-person instruction. And when you add about 25% of hybrid instruction, that could range anywhere from 50 to 75% of some form of in-person instruction across the spring semester.
Thank you. We have a question from Olive Vassal. Can you please describe the cleaning protocol for the current and spring semesters? Perhaps Mr. Franklin, could you answer that?
Yes, good afternoon. So the cleaning protocol will remain as currently what we have in place. During the break, we will continue to clean the campus, the air filters. If there's indeed a breakout, I think a COVID breakout, I think Mr. Bako has spoken to that in the past. But we will continue those protocols where, again, we're doing daily cleaning on a time schedule. If there are particular areas that need additional cleaning, those requests are coming directly to our director of campus facilities, which is Mr. Toussaint, and we're attending to them on a case-by-case basis. But the protocol will remain in place even when the campus is on recess.
Thank you. Yeah, the protocols really haven't changed, and they shouldn't change throughout the rest of this semester and next semester, as our chief operating officer said. And a question from Ann Langford: what telework options will be available next semester, if different from this semester? Perhaps Vice President Sullivan can answer that.
Sorry, Alex. So we will have a discussion about the telework policy, but right now we will probably maintain the 3 days and 3 days in person and 2 days away. But that is up for discussion with the cabinet and with the other members of the COVID task force. But thank you for the question.
We're not getting too many questions today. Is there anything anybody on the cabinet or anybody on the panel would like to share while we wait
Alex,
for the questions?
I have something I'd like to share. Some of our employees may have received communication from the District Government Human Resources Office indicating that they were non-compliant. As everyone knows, UDC made the decision to mandate vaccinations way early in our return planning process. And as such, the district government followed suit behind UDC, and we have a different system other than PeopleSoft where our core information is being stored. So we are providing that information to DC government in terms of our percentages, but that confidential health information is remaining with UDC. I just wanted to alert some employees that they may receive an email from DCHR. If you do receive it, please forward it to HR, to my attention, and you can send it to udchr@udc.edu. We've been working with DCHR to remove UDC from that compliance email process, and so they've been pushing their way through that. So if you receive it, just let us know, and we're happy to intervene. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question. Has anything been decided in terms of the booster? And I'll just say, I'll answer that by saying no, nothing's been decided yet. Right now, I believe that the FDA and CDC are still making their final advisory panel recommendations regarding how boosters should be recommended for rollout in the United States. Right now, I anticipate that there's going to be some mix and match allowance for booster shots, and that doesn't necessarily matter what your initial shot was or your initial set of shots were, but you can get a booster based on availability when it's time for you to get that booster. The university has made no decisions, and I'm not sure how we're going to approach that, because since people have gotten different types of shots at different times, and since individuals have their own choice in the matter of how and when to get their boosters, I don't know exactly how the university will decide to track boosters. How many faculty are not in compliance with the vaccine policy?
So I will answer that, Mr. Bako. We're not providing the breakdown of faculty, students, and staff, but what we have shared in the monthly newsletter, that of the staff reporting on campus, we're over 90% compliant. We do have some employees who have been granted medical or religious exemptions, but right now our compliance numbers are extremely high.
And I think the other thing that I would add to Vice President Sullivan's comment is that we do not break down faculty based on noncompliance, because it's quite frankly a personnel issue, a private matter, and we wouldn't put that information in the out.
Thank you, Dr. Potter.
One question, well, they're similar to what we already received, but I'm looking in the Q&A. Will employees still be allowed to work from home next year? And I think Vice President Sullivan already addressed that things will be more or less along the same policy we have currently this semester.
You're on mute, Dr. Potter.
The only other extenuating issue that I would put here is that while employees may be able to work from home based on our current policy, faculty will not be allowed to work outside of the DMV region beyond December 31st. That was a concession that the institution made based on when an employee was hired and their ability or capability to relocate to the institution. Effective January 1, the policy reverts back to DMV region residency. So I want to make sure that that is there because it states it in the policy as a deadline of December 31, 2021.
And Dr. Potter, to your point, for the 14 employees who received that waiver, they will receive reminders to confirm that their presence is expected effective January 1.
Thank you.
Hi, Alex. It's Monique here. How are you? How's everybody?
I'm fine.
I just wanted to, Alex, I don't know if you had gotten the information, but I just wanted to make sure we updated everyone about the cadence of communication now that's going to change. I mean, kind of given that fortunately things have slowed down quite a bit with respect to COVID and updates, we won't be doing these town halls every other week. And we will probably pull back on the updates on COVID just because there's just not a whole lot of change. Thankfully, that's a good problem to have. But we do have 2 more town halls scheduled right now for before the end of the semester, and that's on November 18th and December 16th. And probably closer to the latter one will provide more clarity about what to expect for the spring return. So we won't be doing these every other week, but we will have 2 more. Right now, they're scheduled for November 18th and December 16th, pending no conflicts with the scheduling.
Thank you. Yeah, it's we're in this position that as Dr. Guillory said, it's fortunate that we don't have many cases and things have slowed down, of course, but we don't want to be too quick to start congratulating ourselves. We are, as I said, getting into colder months. We do anticipate some seasonal issues going on with the flu, and definitely things could pick up regionally and in the district. And we just want to make sure that we're doing the same thing we've been doing to sort of anticipate anything like that might happen. What is the time of town halls? The time of town halls is from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And as Dr. Guillory said, we were switching from a biweekly cadence to more or less a monthly cadence from now on. Question from Brittany Nichols: how often are the elevator buttons cleaned? Chief Operating Officer Franklin, can you answer that question?
Alex, can you repeat that question, please?
Yes. A question from Brittany Nichols is that how often are elevator buttons cleaned?
Yeah, the elevator buttons are cleaned every 2 hours throughout the campus.
Thank you. as Dr. Guillory said, we're going to have additional town halls, and we will be talking as we get closer to the end of this semester what the finalized plans are for next semester, and how they might be different.
Hi, Alex. You had one question that was sent privately to UDC Communications. What will COVID
Okay.
testing look like for the spring semester if there will be more face-to-face classes?
Well, that's a good question. Right now, COVID testing is entirely voluntary, except for those who have requested and received an exemption from vaccination. And so COVID testing will remain the same for those who have been exempt from vaccination requirements. They'll be tested on a weekly basis and have to provide those results to the university. Now, for those who may not have been on the call on the town hall in the beginning, when I made the announcements, we did have a testing drive, and we may have another COVID-19 test drive in the spring after everyone's been traveling out and about and going home for the break. That looks like it might be an opportune time to at least do another round of testing on campus here.
And Alex, I'll just make one observation here. We're not bringing more people back to campus. We're bringing the same distributions of people back to campus. So testing will be about the same. We have about 50% of our course offerings this semester that are face-to-face. And so we think that that is a good measure for where we are right now, not knowing what the winter months will bring in terms of the spread or the delay of the virus.
Thank you, Dr. Potter. Additional questions? Well, we have 82 participants and not too many questions. So I think that's indicative. It's a good sign that people feel comfortable with what we're doing and they understand what is expected of them when they're on campus. I've talked about mask compliance in a very positive way. Let's let it go a little bit longer. Mr. O'Brien wants to thank us for having the discussion and keeping everyone informed. You are welcome, Mr. O'Brien. Someone commented that the guest speaker we had, Dr. Mangla from the Department of Health, 2 weeks ago was especially helpful, and bring him back next semester. Dr. Mangla agreed that he would come back again and speak with us. Yes, he is very well informed and a very good speaker, and he knows quite a bit about COVID and particularly how it's being transmitted here in the district. He was a great speaker. And maybe we can round up some other speakers who might be able to provide information that's beneficial to the university. Any questions about the move to Bertie Bacchus? If there wasn't a specific question, I think that someone commented that they're soliciting any questions that the audience might have regarding the move to Bacchus. Jay, would you please unmute uh, Dr. Gooding Jones?
Yes, working on it right now.
Thank you. And then go ahead and ask your question.
Alex, the question could also be put in the chat if there's an issue with unmuting.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
This is Laverne Gooding Jones, president of Local 2087. The local, in our labor management meeting, the local submitted a list of concerns regarding the move to Bacchus. Concerns from staff, faculty, and other people that will be going to that. There are a number of concerns about, I know we're going to be in an area where we're in a room and we'll have partitions and so forth, but there are a lot of concerns that we have, and I had requested a meeting, a walkthrough with Dr. Party, yourself. I think I included Dr. Franklin, campus police, because we have a number of questions about safety. Will we be getting a response to that? I don't know if NEA has submitted theirs, but it's a concern because we're moving kind of fast. And I know we have to be out by a certain time, and we're starting to pack and do things that we need to do. But my biggest concern is the safety of all of us that are going to be moving at that campus, the parking garage and all of that. So will we be meeting with you all, NEA and Local 2087, to go over and look at things, the things that I asked about? There are a number of things, the bathrooms, the chemical element, the HVAC system, all of those things. So because we'll be moving soon, I just want to know when that'll be happening.
So
Can I answer?
go ahead, Deb, and then I'll step in.
All right, so we are compiling that list. We do expect to receive some questions from NEA, and that list will be provided to Mr. Franklin and Dr. Potter to address the concerns.
And so, Laverne, I understand that there are concerns, and Vice President Sullivan has informed us that the list is being compiled. We've not seen the comprehensive list of questions. And while we can respect the concerns, I want to ensure you that, at least from an academic perspective, Dean Hamilton has brought many of the questions and or concerns, as well as from a staff perspective, Jerry Johnson, who has been very involved in the relocation, the assessment and evaluation of these spaces, have also listed those concerns. And so I have some preliminary questions that were addressed by Ms. Johnson as part of the MOVE planning team. I can tell you that facilities is aware or has been made aware of the current status of the bathrooms, particularly the women's restrooms. No action has been taken on that just yet, but I do want you to know that that level of concern has been raised to our facilities team and our chief operating officer. In terms of the instructional spaces, more specifically anatomy and physiology, Dean Hamilton has told us that there needs to be a ventilation system in those spaces. I've walked those spaces, and so the COO and our facilities team is quite aware of that. And to any other, I think the larger question is around safety. You know, I don't know what the specific concerns around safety are, but every time that I have been to the Bertie Bacchus campus, I see constant campus police presence because it's not like the campus is sitting barren. We have representatives and employees from our workforce, not workforce, well, workforce development who are on site. We have causes staff who are on site because we have the ag pod there. And we also lease a huge portion of the second floor of that building to DOES. And they have their own security on site. So I'm not sure what the safety concerns are, but there is consistent police presence. And I would imagine that as the move takes place, that will increase as well.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll just add on that the University Safety and Health Committee um, met once virtually just prior to returning for the fall semester to discuss mostly COVID-related concerns. That committee is going to meet again, um, most likely the second week of November. The date hasn't quite been set yet, and we are working to make sure that the committee is fully represented, and it will be another platform and opportunity for individuals from various aspects of our campuses to voice their concerns and have them addressed. A question from Joni Robinson. Is fresh air circulated in building 44?
Yes. Yes, to answer the question is yes. The HVAC system is working there, and we do have a continual flow of fresh air flowing through building 44 and all our buildings at this time.
Thank you. Well, everybody, we've allotted 1 hour for this town hall. I would encourage everyone to ask all the questions you might have right now. We will let it go at least a few more minutes, but I don't know if we're gonna keep the line open to until 3 p.m. if there are no additional questions. But let's just wait a few additional minutes. A question from Miss Linda Gamble is, has the CARES assistance for fall 2021 been distributed yet? And I'm not sure who would answer that question.
So
That would be me, Alex, from that vantage point. So those applications dropped a week or so ago, and that process has started, and that distribution has begun for students for the fall semester for CARES monies specifically. So if there's anyone who has a specific question about that or may have a question about that process, certainly email me at william.latham, Latham, at udc.edu, or to Naila Williams, N.A. Williams, at udc.edu.
Thank you, Dr. Latham. Well, I wish I had some additional material to fill time, but I do not. I think we've discussed everything that we need to discuss related to at least the campus and what's going on regarding COVID-19. I want to thank everybody for being here today and for participating. I want to thank the panelists, and I will remind everyone that we are no longer having bi-weekly town hall meetings. The next monthly town hall meeting will be on November 18th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. We will send out announcements, and you will get your invites. Yeah, I'm getting some comments that perhaps I should start singing or dancing. Well, I wish I could do that too. In any event, thanks everybody for participating today. Stay safe, keep your family safe, and we will see you back at November 18th. If anybody has any questions, please email me. I'll put my information and telephone number in the chat before we sign off. All right. Good afternoon, everyone.